Okay, in this video we're going to do the angle spacer. Notice I have the sheet layout already opened up and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And most of my drawings I start out, if I see a square or a rectangle, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. And I'm going to draw my overall size of the part by using the rectangle tool. And then I'm going to use relative input. Go Shift at, and with the angle spacer it's 3 inches in X, comma 2 inches in Y. Now, if you take a look, this is a very small part, so you're going to see that it's the sheet layout looks big. So I'm going to zoom in. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go about this a different way than I've showed you in the past. I'm going to draw little handlebars as far as snapping points. So I'm going to draw a line going off to the side here, and I'm going to move it up the distance of 1.25. Okay. Draw another line at the top corner. Notice I like to draw these rectangles, and this line here is any length. I like to draw these rectangles so I can reference from corner points. I'm going to move this over distance of 0.75. Hit enter. Now I'm going to copy this line over 1 inch. Do the same down here. Hit escape. Draw my snapping point. Now these little handlebar things, these are snapping points because the corners need clipped. So you need a way to snap and draw a line. So let me move this line up. And the distance is going to be 1.5. Alright, now I have these snapping points. So I'm going to go to line. I'm going to snap here and snap here. And that will be that clipped corner. Go to line again, snap here, and snap here. Okay, so that's how I do those clipped corners. Now I could get rid of these little handlebars, delete those off, and for right now I'm going to leave these corners the way they are, and I'll show you. We're going to place this object in the sheet layout when having these corners still there, so I have something to grab and snap to. But let's finish this down here first. So I'm going to go to line. I'm going to draw a line. Watch how I do this. I'm going to go and draw a line over 0.75. Now, like I said, line over top of a line, I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately come down here and click that line. Move it up. Move it up 0.25. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to line again. Snap to that corner. And I'm going to go up 0.5. Okay, and then I can come back and notice how it's going to want to snap to that midpoint. If you had perpendicular snap on, it would work. This, I guess, would be a good time to show you that. I'm going to right click, go to snap overrides. I'm going to choose perpendicular snap. So I can come in here and snap perpendicular, and that'll work for us. So now I can trim that out as well. Before I trim, like I said, let's go ahead and move. Now that we have the kind of the overall outside object created, before I clean it up, I'm going to go ahead and center it within the title block in the border. I'm going to draw my little diagonal guideline that I like to do. Snap from corner to corner. Make sure it's at the top of the title block. And I'm going to draw another one on this object here from corner to corner. Notice I didn't trim that corner out, so I have that to snap to. I'm going to go to move. I'm going to snap to the midpoint, and now I'm ready to clean it up. So let's go ahead and delete these lines, these guidelines. Now let's go to trim. Go to trim, select everything, and let me clean up all this stuff here. Okay, so that is the angle spacer object, the outline object. It is all centered within the sheet layout border. And I need one other object entity here, which is that circle, and then we can put dimensions on it. So let's go ahead and go to circle. I'm going to snap it from where it's referenced from down in this corner, and it has a diameter. I'm going to choose diameter, and the diameter is 1 inch, 1 inch diameter. So I'm going to go to move, choose that circle to move. I'm going to move this up. Now I'm going to do this relative. Relative input. I'm going to go Shift at. I need to move it back to the left, so -1, comma, +1. And that's the location of the circle. So angle spacer object creation is complete. Now I'm ready to apply dimensions. Now, as I mentioned before, anytime I have a circle, I'm going to start there with my dimension. So let me go to drop down, go to diameter dimension, place it here, and I want you to place it exactly how you see it in the drawing, and it's over here. So the reason why I put that diameter dimension on first is so that we have a center mark to work off of with the linear dimensions. So let's go ahead and put a whole bunch of linear dimensions in here. Start at that center point, drop down, scroll, drag over. Notice I have my gap. Can't tell you that enough. I have a lot of times my students don't put gaps in there. So I'm going to drag down, and I have that gap there. Snap here, snap there. Just work my way around. 0.25 here. Now notice this 0.25, it pops out there, but I can actually snap it in place. It will go in, and then I can drag it and move it over, tighten it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to keep going with my linear dimensions. Put that there. Snap from this point to this point. Once again, that 0.5 is out. We can put it in. And let's do a height of over here. Notice how I have all the gaps built in. Nothing's touching my object itself. No dimensions or extension lines are touching the object. Let's put some up here. And we'll drag it up. Snap from here to here and come up. And I want you to snap these arrow points together so they're perfectly in line. I have one more, well, two more dimensions to put on. Snap down here, snap to there, drag it out. And we'll do another one for the overall height. Snap over here, drag over. Now it is acceptable for this to cross, these extension lines to cross, but you need gaps here. Alright, now we have the angle spacer is all dimensioned. I got one other thing, is to change our title, update our title block text. So let's go down here, double click, go in here, and we're going to type angle spacer, all caps, recenter it, go to move, recenter it left and right. Now pay attention here, we're going to do a renumbering here. Instead of figure, we're going to go CH for chapter 1, CH for chapter 1, so CH1 dash 1. So the angle spacer is the first drawing for chapter 1 as far as the exercises. So CH1 dash 1, that's going to be our numbering system. So we have 1 inch equals 1 inch is our scale. You can update the date. In period, make sure you put your period in here. So period, whatever number you are. Period 1, period 2, whatever it may be. Center it all up. And that should complete our angle spacer. Our title block's updated. Alright, one thing I wanted to add is the center line here that I didn't put in. So let's go to line, snap to that center point, snap to the top quadrant of that circle, get the blue grips by selecting that line, drag it up. We're going to go 0.25, quarter of an inch, and then drag the bottom one up 1/16 of an inch, 0.0625. And then we need to add another line down here. Snap to the 9 o'clock quadrant, select the line, drag it out, 0.25, and then get your gap right here, 0.0625. Alright, so don't forget to save. I want you to go to File, Save As, and you're going to call it angle spacer underscore your last name. That's the file name structure that I want you to use. Hit Save. And that should do it. That's the angle spacer. Thanks for watching.